Hi, it's Janice Thompson from JazzleDazzleCrafts.com. That's lies. It's Janice Thompson from JazzleDazzleCraft.co.uk. I changed my website in January and I still can't get my tongue around it. So, hi everybody. These this video is exclusive to those people who bought my June class in a box kit. I've got set up here so that you can see what I'm up to. So I'm going to make you 4 separate videos. This one for this little notebook cover is the first one. I just want to say thank you very much for everyone for supporting my business. I really appreciate your support and the great feedback that you give me from my kit for my kits. Obviously, you know, if there's something that you think I could do better, or especially get you these videos on time before your parcels get to you, but you know, if there's anything else you feel that would improve things, I am open to positive criticism. So this one, it's probably not the easiest project I've got, but it certainly was, I think, what everyone wanted to be involved with, was this colouring on the white embossing. So you can use watercolour pencils for this if you want to. They do work on the white, but I usually use my blends. So that's what I'm going to use today on this. So the stamp set, as you all know, you've all received it, or, well, not one person still to confirm having received it at the time I'm filming this. We're using the Lovely You set. I just thought this was really a lovely set. I liked the font on the sentiments. There's a lot of sentiments and these lovely wee stamps, and because I saw that they were solid stamps, that's what made me think I can do my black magic with them. I just love the black magic technique. I'm looking for the punch that goes with it. Now, in your packs, those of you who... I've got it, excuse me. I don't know what parts of my body I'll be showing as I do that. Right. Those of you who bought the punch, I have cut you the strips, but I haven't punched the ends because I left that for you to get. I'm just looking to see if we're maybe a wee bit bright here, I'm not sure. It's a very warm day when I'm filming this. That's the wrong punch, Janice. That's not the punch you're after. Let me try again. Where did I put all my punches? Oh, here it is. A much easier place for me to reach. Okay, so this is a fantastic punch because you've got 2 different tab end designs and you've got 3 possible widths, so that's fab. So you can layer them on each other as I did with, of course it won't be here, will it, the sample? Yes, on this card we've used the 1 inch and then the 3/4 inch width, and we've done this with the fancy side. So we'll get to that when we get to that card, but the notebook doesn't have any sentiment on it. Well, it does, it has the smile one, which is that one. So basically I'll just get the stamps out. I'll do the smile first. Well, I'll do them all, but it won't necessarily look like this. I've used that stamp. What other stamp did we use? That one, and a leaf one. We used this leaf. Right, so we used those 3, so I'll use the same 3 stamps and the sentiment. So that's that out. So I've got a piece of paper that's for a different project, so I'm hoping to get these all filmed for you so that you can get on if you want to. So some of you just use the kit and do your own thing, and that's absolutely fine. But for those who want to follow the project, and we do have a brand new lady who's actually fairly new to this type of crafting, so I'm going to take more time with that. So I have a small block here. I just tend to, quite often when I'm crafting, just use one block. So if you've only got one block, that's fine. So what you've got in this wee pack for the notebooks is you've got two pieces of card, which I can't remember what size they are. So they're about 7.5 centimetres by 12.5 centimetres. And I need to tell you where I've scored them, so I'll show you that when I'm at that. But what I want to do is the stamping part first. Now there's no problem, in fact it might be a good idea if you want to just get a scrap of black card, if you have any, or any dark card, and have a practice first. What you need your little embossing buddy. Oops, it's leaking, but that's okay. It's just something like corn flour or starch or something that's in there, and it's really, I've had this for hundreds of years, I think, and it absorbs any sort of finger marks, grease marks that you might have put on the card when you've been cutting it, and also it reduces any static that might be in the card, because you don't want your embossing powder sticking to the bits where you've not stamped. Now this is the sticky ink that we use for doing embossing. So we'll use this quite a lot. What I do intend to do is next month's kit to have some more embossing in it, because my new lady seemed to really like that idea of embossing. So we'll do a bit more embossing each project box, class in a box. I never know what I'm going to call it, but you know what I mean. The monthly kit thing. So anyhow, we use Versamark ink because it's a clear sticky ink. My pad's a bit dirty. I've got a nice clean one in case I was doing clear embossing, but because I'm doing white embossing, if any of that colour transfers, it won't matter. So the first thing I'm going to stamp is the smile sentiment. So what we do is we stamp with this sticky ink, then we pop our powder on, so we've inked it up, and then we put smile, and you can just see it and no more. When you maybe can't see it on my project, but you will see your own when you're working on your own. And you just wipe that when you're done. So then I'm going to take the bigger flower and ink it up. Just tap, tap, tap. Don't press too heavy. And when you're pressing down, don't press too heavy either. So I just want to have a couple of these big flowers in this picture. And it's fine to stamp off a bit, because then it looks like you've cut it from a bigger piece. So we've got 3 of them in there, that's cool. And then this other little flowery type stamp, might pop it in a couple of places. I might not get much of these leaves in, but it doesn't matter. Actually, you know what, I'm not going to bother with the leaves on this one. I'm actually just going to put more of the wee flowers, because this is just to let you see what to do. So this wee notebook's going to be slightly different to that one. You'll never do 2 the same anyway. So that's I've not left enough room for leaves, so that's okay. So again, you just make up your own design as you go along. So I hope you can see that. Now what I had a scrap of paper. Here's another one. I did have it ready. It's really hot today. I've actually come in from the sun because I'm a bit too hot, and that's unusual for me, but I had to admit defeat, so I thought I'd come and do this for you guys. So I hope you've all been able to enjoy a bit of sunshine and amongst work, for those of you who are still working. So I'm back to doing my day job, but I do it on a Monday, Tuesday and Friday, and then I do my Stampin' Up on a Wednesday and a Thursday. So now what you see here is there's a bit there that doesn't have enough on it, but I've sorted that by dipping it back into the powder. And there's a bit here where there's too much. Now you can use a fingernail to just knock that off, but I actually keep, for that purpose, I keep a dry watercolour painting brush that I don't use for watercolouring, and just knock off any wee bits that, see there, there's been the edge of the stamp has caught that. Obviously I over inked that stamp, and that's why you got that wee line there. So that's why I suggest, if you are new to embossing, to practice on some old scrap card first. Now your powder will last you forever, because what you do, well, I put a fold in this paper so that I gather up all the surplus powder there in my paper, and I tip it back in to my tub. And that's it. And now I love doing this white embossing trick, and I have had this tub for about 4.5 years now. So, and I've done tons of projects, and I've used it in class, so you can see it does last a while. So there we go. So I'm just going to get my heat tool, which I keep on my craft desk. Well, I keep it at the side of my craft desk, plugged in and ready to go. I'm going to close the ink because I don't want to be drying that off with the heat tool. So if you've got sensitive hearing, you might want to switch your sound down, but this won't take long. Now you have to be careful, you have to heat the heat tool up, and be careful not to burn your fingers when you're doing this. I've got a cheap pair of tweezers here, ones that you can buy in the cheap shop, you know what I mean. Oops. I have a tool. I think these ones are not very good actually. I don't know where my good ones are. But anyway, so I'm doing it left-handed, but I'm sure we'll manage. So just maybe keep it about 4 or 5 inches away, and just you'll watch it turn to a different shade of white. It'll go. Now I just need to let go and get a hold of it somewhere else. Get all that done. Be careful where you're pointing your heat tool, because it is very hot. You see what I've done? I've kinked my paper. I do have a silicone mat, but I figured that you guys wouldn't. Now you can see I could have improved on my stamping there. I have blotched that a wee bit. I should have maybe scraped that out before I brought the heat tool in, but that's fine. So then, where is my trimmer? So I used the scoring tool here, but you could use a ruler. You could use a ruler on to make. I just need 2 scores. You could actually probably get away with doing it with your fingers, but I've already marked these because I knew I would forget. So you need to score at 10.6 and then 10.8 centimetres. 10.6 and then 10.8. Take my time about saying that because I know that I didn't, I haven't done written instructions. I'm absolutely rubbish at doing written instructions. So basically, if you're using your trimmer, or if you're using a ruler, you would be able to mark that at 10.6 centimeters, and then mark both ends at 10.8 centimeters, and then you score there. So you could do that with it. You could then use your ruler if you've marked it at both ends there. Or you can just take your notebook. Let's see if I can do it with this one. So if you take your notebook and you turn it upside down there, and then just bend it and just coax it to come over. Just make sure, just basically gently persuade the paper if you don't have a trimmer or a scoring tool. This trimmer is brilliant because you can cut your card to whatever size you want to. And so there you go. See, I have managed to tell it what I need it to do just by bending it, so that you can still do that. But if you have a trimmer, you don't even need a scoring tool or anything, because it's got a scoring tool in it. So 10.6 and 10.8, and that's your scores, and then your paper will bend where you want it to then to flap over your notebook. For any new crafters, the trimmer is an excellent investment if you think you are going to do more of this. So what you want to do now is just glue the back of this. Now I'm going to use our new Stampin' Seal Plus, which is a strong adhesive, but you could use wet glue. The snail would work, but it's not quite as strong. This is our new strong adhesive. Obviously, you want to get your notebook straight. Make sure it's sitting where you want it to sit. You want if you're looking at it from the back like this, you want a very, very thin border around each side. Make sure it's even. Just take your time, and then just bend that over. And I've managed to have some adhesive sticking over the side. I don't know how I did that. Just rub that with my finger and it will come off. And that's that part of the cover done. You've got this bit, so you might want to stick it on now if you want, or as I'm going to do is colour it in first. Let's just make sure we're still filming. So I've got this new, my favourite new colour now, Magenta Madness. And let's see, what have we got? Granny Apple Green and some kind of yellow. Dark Mango. We've got Mango Melody. I can't get my words out today and I've not been on the gin yet. Okay, so just take one of the greens. I'm not going to spend too much time. Obviously you can take your time. Very therapeutic. I'm using the brush end here, but be aware that if you use the brush end, sometimes the embossing can damage. That's really like a nice soft brush end. So if you want to keep that nice and pointed, probably best use the bullet end for this because it's much sturdier. These blends are alcohol pens, and that's why they will stick to what basically is plastic. You need to give them a minute or two. Now you've got blends, you've got 2 shades of each. So what you can do is, well, I'll maybe show you that on the Magenta Madness on a larger surface. It's just, I'm just at the moment just putting colour on here for you. If you go over a wee bit, it doesn't actually show on the black background, which is quite good. So ladies, I haven't really been seeing much of what you guys have been making with your kits this last year. Have you all joined my Jazzle Dazzle and Friends craft group on Facebook? Because if you do, then you can share your projects. It's actually for any crafts, the group that I've made. It doesn't have to be all Stampin' Up! Stampin', and if it's stamping, it can be, you know, I know we all have other products in our stash. And some of you knit and crochet and do all kinds of crafts. It would be great if you wanted to join that group. All you have to do is request to join it. So it's Jazzle Dazzle and Friends Craft Share Group. That's what it is. Right, so this on the flower, just to show you how a wee bit about how these work, so if I can get it open. I'm putting the dark on first. I'm just putting it there like that. Just do it on one at a time, and then I'm going to take the lighter one and just go over the top of the whole thing and just blend them together a bit. And the colours will, the inks blend really well. Best just to do a small area at a time. You can go back in again with your shading, you can build it up, or you can just slap some basic colour on. It's, you know, it's just down to you. Depends on what mood you're in, how you know, sometimes we're in the mood to take our time and do it, and sometimes we just want to put some colour down. So you can, you know, you can blend, or here as you see I'm just putting the colour down. Sorry girls, I can't talk when I'm colouring. Concentrating. So month on month more people are buying these kits, so you know, if you've got any friends that might be interested in doing a bit of crafting, I know a lot of people like the kits because it saves them trying to work out what to buy, because most of it's done for you and then you're getting this guided video to help you. Obviously you can do what you like with the kit when you get it. You don't have to follow my instructions. But sometimes it's nice just to follow instructions for the first one, just to get the hang of what's happening, and then go off. And I'm just putting the sepals, isn't it? These bits. But as I say, you can take your time and shade it, or you can just pop the colour down. It's your choice. Oh, I missed this one, didn't I? Add that one, look. This bit is so therapeutic. It's just so relaxing. So you could do yourself a, you know, whole sheet of this and then chop it up. And then I've got Mango Melody. And I'm just going to pop of the wee yellow flowers. I mean, I do have another video out already showing you this process as well. It's on my public, available to everybody, but for the rest of this year probably anyway, I'll keep this just exclusive for you guys. And then I think I did a bit of multicolouring on the smile. I didn't have this Mango Melody I didn't have this Magenta Madness at the time. See, this sort is actually easier with the wee brush tip. When you're doing on a line like this. There you go, smile. Now, I don't know how well this is going to stick, but I think I'll do this with wet glue simply because if I want it to look, you know, central on there, and sometimes when you use tape runners. Now, probably should leave that to dry. It is alcohol pen, it will dry fairly quickly, but I think this glue's had it. I'm going to get a new one. They do last a while, these glues, if you use them sparingly, and you don't need loads of glue, it's strong, so don't overuse it. So for a project like this, I'll just put a wee thin line. In fact, that's thicker than I would normally do. It's coming out quite fast. Must be the hot weather. And I keep one of these little wee sweetie jars. I think you can buy them in IKEA. And then it keeps it facing down the way while I'm working. So make sure you've got it up the right way. Take your notebook. Because I've used wet glue, I do have, so we have a wee black border around, but I quite like it to be an even border. Just take your time. See, that hasn't come off on the paper, it's dried quite well. I'm just going to turn that over, hold it down firmly, and then give it a wee rub just to make sure it's adhered properly. And again, I've got a glue rubber. I could take that off. I've got a glue rubber, but I can't find it. Oh yeah, there it is. I moved some things. I tidied it up actually, which is never a good idea because then you can't. This is the strong new tape runner in the new catalogue. It's the Stamp and Seal Plus. So it's taken a wee bit of getting off, but I'll just have to keep at it. But these glue erasers are handy because they've saved many a project. Not that this one's particularly going to anyone, but well, it might. It might actually get sent out with a couple of things I'm sending out this week. Okay, so there you go. There's the one I showed you when I advertised the kit. There's the one that I've just done. So I hope you like that. Watch this video over and over again if you need to. You can switch my voice off, but you'll be able to see the process. But thank you so much, everyone. And I'll see you in the next video.